So cost per lead. This is something that most people don't get right, the total. So how do you determine the cost per lead?
Nothing but nuggets. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, man. Came from nothing to something. Now we giving you game. Dropping nothing but nuggets.
So cost per lead. This is something that most people don't get right, the total. So how do you determine the cost per lead? It's the total cost of your marketing campaign divided by the total number of leads generated. Give you an example. You generate 100 leads and it costs you $1,000. That's a $10 per lead, if I'm not mistaken. You know, how much are you spending to generate a single lead? Working backwards using other KPIs, you can determine how many leads you need to generate in order to get a deal, like I said earlier. This metric will help you set the budget for how much you need to spend in order to generate the amount of leads necessary to hit that many deals. So some people get started into this game and they just like, I'm just trying to get one deal. But you, even just to get one deal, you still have to know exactly how many leads you need to pull, how many seller appointments you need to go on in order to achieve that deal. In order to be consistent, you have to set up these flows so they can work with each other. The goal is to minimize the cost per lead. Here's some measurements, appointments from leads, right? So total number of leads divided by the total number of appointments. You know, how many are you actually converting to appointments? A lead doesn't mean a person is ready to sell. A lead doesn't mean that they're ready to speak with you or you to come past the house or you to call them on the telephone. They just say, hey, I'm interested in an offer. You know what I mean? So your team, your cold caller team, or your lead managers, or whoever you have working with you, have to be at a point that they understand how to separate the leads, so they won't be sending acquisition people leads, or what we call junk leads, and they not properly nurtured. They're not properly primed. They're not ready yet to receive that cash offer that you're going to receive. So average profit per deal. It means basically the total profit from all the deals in the campaign divided by the total number of deals. That's how you get your average profits per deal, guys. So the goal is to increase that dollar amount. You want to make sure that, you know, if you're making right now maybe $5,000 a deal, you need to figure out how could you get to $10,000 a deal without spending a ton of more money in marketing. Maybe there's a few tweaks. And typically it boils down to making low offers, right? You got to learn how to prime a seller to receive a low offer. So many people get into the business and they lock up deals by basically agreeing to whatever the seller asking for. And then 3 weeks later, they're struggling and crying to figure out why they can't find a cash buyer. Is because they are just doing anything to please the seller, just to say, I'm locking up deals. Appointment from the leads. This is the most important thing. Understanding this appointment from leads. The total number of leads divided by the total number of appointments is your appointments from leads. So all of your leads, are they converting to appointments, right? The goal is to increase the percentage. I can get 100 leads in next month, but if I only got 5 appointments, then that's a problem. So that's why you have these KPIs, these measurements, because now you're able to say, well, I got 100 people saying they want to sell, but I only legitimately was able to talk to 5 people and give out 5 offers. Now, if you know what I just said earlier, I said it's going to take you about 10 or 15 offers to get a deal. But guess what? I know for a fact there's a 100% chance you might not get a signed contract this month. And guess what? To add the cherry on top, nearly 50% of all wholesale deals don't make it to the closing day. So even if you get one deal, that chance of that deal falling apart is about 50%. So here's some things you should be doing in order to increase the appointments per leads. You should set more appointments on qualified leads. You should be focusing on qualifying more than anything. And then, like I said, you should use more automated follow-up systems. You need to be able to confirm and schedule appointments with the sellers. These CRMs, these automated flows will help you do that. Even if you're on a budget, just by putting a person on your Google Calendar as a reminder to follow up with them can go a long way than you trying to remember it on your own. And then your marketing channels that has a higher probability of selling. You need to understand what marketing channels works the best for each area. You need to understand what list works the best or that's appropriate for each area that you're marketing to. And then, like I said, you need to be training your lead manager. If you don't have a lead manager, you're a one-man show. You need to be separating yourself into separate departments. Train your lead manager on rapport building and communication skills, so more qualified leads are more likely to accept. Total number of leads from a campaign divided by the total number of resulting deals. Of all your leads from a campaign, what percentage will turn into a deal? The goal is to increase that ratio, guys. The direct measures the quality of leads. To fix this, adjust your channel, medium, or messaging. What I mean by that is if you're text messaging, maybe you want to tweak that text message. If you're a cold caller, maybe you want to listen to the calls and listen to the hang up ratio. If your VA is consistently getting hanged up on or cussed out on the opening part of their line, then that's telling you you should adjust the message that your team is presenting to the prospect. So here's some actions you can do. Adjust your marketing, right? You can change the marketing channel. We got away from RVMs because we felt like it wasn't effective as much. You can adjust your targeting list. We stopped focusing on pre-foreclosures and focus more so on 20 years ownership, 10 years ownership, bad credit, Thailand, try skip tracing. Or try better skip tracing, I meant to put. So like I said, it depends on how good your acquisition routine is in the field, face to face with the sellers, or even on the phone. Here's some actions you can do in order to increase your deals from appointments. Hire rockstar acquisition people, right? If you believe in somebody, especially if they don't have everything they need now, maybe you can have them, train them up, and turn them to sharks, right? We even have an acquisition program that helps you with that. It don't do it 100% for you, but it definitely helps you. You can fire underperforming acquisition people. I just fired one of my acquisition people 2 weeks ago. Underperforming, right? Performing, but not performing at the highest standard we set out. Train existing acquisition people on rapport building and negotiating strategies consistently. Get a sales coach to help your team convert more appointments into deals. Find somebody, whether it's in the real estate space, or in the sales space, find somebody that's a sales coach that's going to help train you and your team up. And most importantly, listen to podcasts about negotiating with sellers on appointments. And then just go to more appointments. The only way to get better is to get more reps.